Hey everyone, it's Mike here, and this is the Pick for Profit Radio podcast, episode number 2. I've got Kim here in the house. We're having a good little time here. Kim, what's going on? What's new? Let the folks know what's happening. What's gone on in the past week.
Oh, there's been a lot going on in the past week. I think a good portion of you have seen that Mike got banned from Walmart and then unbanned from Walmart. So maybe we should take a quick moment and just talk about that quickly before we get into the questions.
Yeah, the whole Walmart situation, and this is what happened, it was crazy. I walked into this Walmart on Sunday, and I had purchased some clearance items. I was at the cat out of the bag right now. It was Chex Mix, these seasonal Chex Mix, and I bought like 4 or 5 cases on Sunday, and listed them merchant fulfilled, and I sold out. I sold out fast, and I made good money at it. But I left a couple, maybe 15 packages behind because I was just in a hurry, and I was like, I'm not going to scoop all these up. So I came home on Sunday after I sold them all, and I was like, I need to go back out Sunday night and just grab the rest of them. But I never got around to it. So Monday rolls around. I go there Monday, and first thing I do is I go by this clearance section. And in the clearance section in the store, it's right where the registers are at the checkout. It's like a blowout sale. It's crazy over there. But I picked them up. There was 4 cases, threw them in the bag, in the cart. I went down to the toy aisle, and I go down the toy aisle, and, I'm just doing my typical thing. I'm finding the hot items that I have on Amazon, just replenishing orders that way, and looking at new things. So all of a sudden, I'm there for 30 minutes, and I see this lady come by, all right, and she's kind of bossing around one of the young Walmart employees, and she didn't have a name badge or nothing like that, but she had one of those scanning devices. Now, real quick, Kim, you worked for Walmart.
Yeah.
Back a long time ago.
Yeah, it was over 15 years ago I worked for Walmart, and I worked there for about 5 years, and when I left, I was a manager at Walmart.
So were you a manager, or like you were the main manager in the store, or was there somebody above you?
No, there was the store manager. I was an assistant manager.
Okay, so you're the assistant manager, like a big shot, walking around. How old were you?
I was 21.
21, rocking it. Okay, so anyway, here's this lady is sitting there, and she's got this device. What do you call those?
It's a Telzon.
Telzon, okay. And with this Telzon, what she was doing was she was scanning. She was telling this kid first off, like, hey, where is this item? Where's this item? And, I had my carts filled, and she looked at me kind of funny, and I overheard her, like, say, we need to go find the Ninja Turtle sewer layer. We got to raise the price on that. So she was raising the price on this stuff, and is that like, your experience with this, that device does other things, right?
Yeah, what it does is it's basically a handheld inventory system. It tells them what inventory they have, if you put in a barcode, UPC code, specific codes that Walmart has, it will tell you what items they have on the shelf, if they've got 1 in stock, 0 in stock. It should also locate the product for them. It's in the toy section, or it's in the back in the receiving area. And then it also tells them the price, with the original price that they've put it out on the shelf, if they've clearanced it out, that type of price history on it.
So with this device, could you go, okay, for example, it's currently on shelf, it's $9.97. Could you raise the price, and it's raised throughout the whole system?
Yeah.
So it can
immediately.
They can jack it up to $14.97, and anybody can have this, and now that price for that product is $14.97.
Exactly. If you're shopping and it's in your cart and you haven't made it to the checkout yet, and they've raised the price, by the time you get to the register, you're paying that higher price.
Okay, so that answers the question there. So that's what happened to me, guys. I'm sitting there, and this lady is increasing the price on, really, honestly, all the hot items that you can buy to flip on Amazon. Okay. So, I got kind of frustrated because I was sitting there with all these items in my cart, and, I was watching her do this. So a lot of the stuff I put back because I'm like, man, there goes the margins. It was no money to be made, and I had to double check it. I went to one of those, what do you call those things that are hanging there, and the price checker. The price checker,
yeah.
So I go over there and scan it, and sure as heck, man, it's sitting there, and it's now went from $14.97 to $22.97. So I kind of put some stuff back there at that point, but I still had a bunch more in my cart. And my theory was, well, I can go to this register, and the items actually had the $14.97 price tag on them. So there I am. I'm wheeling these carts in. Now, this Walmart is like a high-volume Walmart. I mean, wouldn't you say? I mean, there's thousands of people in there.
Yeah.
Parking lot's filled.
Yep. Constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be tens of thousands of people that go through there a day.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just crazy in this place. And, you got zombies walking around in there and all that cool, crazy things and just strange people. But
the Walmartians are out in full force in this Walmart.
Oh, God. So I'm at the counter, right? And I've got these boxes of Chex Mix, and I've got them loaded on the conveyor belt. People are looking at me, and, that's part of the game. When you start loading up on stuff, people start to go, what are you doing?
Just like when people are couponing. They look at you funny,
Or if somebody's got, 500 water bottles in their cart or something crazy, a mass quantity. That doesn't really bother me. So I'm at the checkout, and the lady's just having a problem off the bat. I mean, no disrespect to people that work for Walmart, but, she just was a little slow. Just a little slow. Maybe she had a bad day. She looked like she was exhausted. I mean, Walmart works their employees to death.
They work the heck out of you. I mean, there were nights that I would work, especially around the holiday season. I mean, I'd work a shift from midnight to 8 a.m. and have to be back at 7 o'clock in the morning. Or 7 o'clock that night, I mean. So, I mean, I'd be working almost double shifts. And then if somebody called off, they'd call you in at 1, 2 o'clock. It didn't matter if you'd only been home an hour and a half.
That's crazy. And, the thing is, we were in earlier in the week, we were buying some stuff. And remember, we heard that, all the temps are go now. So all that temporary work for the holiday season, they were gone. Yep. I'm back in the line at the checkout, and there's a discrepancy off the bat. Now, I paid 87 cents for these Chex Mix, right? The full retail was like $3 or something like that. And, I explained to the lady, I said, I bought these last night for the 87 cents, and, they're on the clearance cart. So she goes, well, they're not ringing up that way. So I said, well, we need to get a manager over here. Manager comes over, which wasn't a manager. It was just some random person they pulled off, I don't know what they were doing with it. But this guy comes over there, and he goes, well, let me go check the price. So this guy runs all the way back where, potato chips are at. After I told him, I go, no. I said they were on this cart. And there was no prices on these products, right? So long story short, he comes back, and he's like, no, that's the price. And I said, no, we need to get a manager over here. I said, trust me. I showed my receipt. I said, this is what I paid yesterday. I know that this is on clearance. I know it's on clearance. And, next thing you know, they're like, no, we can't help you. So I said, you know what? I don't want the stuff. I don't want it. That's fine. Ring up the rest of my stuff. Well, they rang up all my other stuff at the new changed price, right? So even though that there was a sticker on these items that said $14.97, I had to pay $22.97 for them.
Well, and right there, that's actually against their policy. If it's sticker priced something and it doesn't ring up that price at the register, you're supposed to get it for the sticker price.
That's what I thought. So I explained that to her again, and then we had the whole manager's, conference going on, and they're like, no, that's what the price is. It's ringing up that way. And I said, you know what? I'm done. I was frustrated. I just left. So I go into the parking lot. I have a cigarette, and I'm sitting there going, this is just crazy. But I'm still thinking in the back of my mind, I need to go back and get that Chex Mix. I mean, there's good money in Chex Mix, especially some of these seasonal ones. So I'm in the car. I call Walmart, the store that I was just at. I mean, I'm in the parking lot still. And I get the manager on the phone. And this was somebody that I haven't dealt with yet. And I explain the scenario, and he goes, sir, I am so sorry this has happened to you. Come back into the store, and I will take care of you. I will sell you those items for $1 each, and I'll match the price that was on those items. Now, I mean, this is a matter of minutes, right? Minutes. I go walking.
And he handled it. That's how, I mean, Walmart has training like McDonald's has training. Everybody's probably heard of McDonald's University. They send their employees there. Walmart has the same sort of thing. That you spend your first 2 weeks in training, and then every month you have this other computer-based training that you have to do that tells you all kinds of things. So that's exactly what he should have done.
Okay,
Get you back in the store.
So I'm back in the store now. I'm walking in, and I don't know what this guy looks like. All right, he just told me his name, and I started to walk in. I mean, I just walked through those doors, right? I walked through the doors, and the guy points me out. He's like, "Hey, I'm right here," which I thought was odd. That he knew who I was, right? I mean,
he wouldn't have even had time to look at the security camera.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was weird, the whole situation. But so he's like, "Hey, I'm right here. Let's go back to the customer service. Go get the items." And I said, "Well, where are the items?" And he goes, well, they already restocked them. And I said, okay. So now I
Which
got to go.
honestly is a bunch of BS because you have no idea how long it actually takes them to put the products back on the
They
shelf.
actually had them back. Like
that is crazy.
They had that check stuff back on that cart.
That is absolutely crazy.
Which I was shocked because
Yeah.
I walked over there and I saw them. And I mean, this place is busy. And I was irritated. So, you know, I'm going back and I find the stuff that's sitting at the cart. And I refill these carts back up. I bring them to customer service. And I showed the guy everything. He goes, no problem. He starts ringing it up. And I'm like, great. This is great. All of a sudden, a guy from the back of the customer service comes out and says, sorry, sir, we can't sell you this. And I said, well, why? And he goes, and he really didn't answer me. He turned his back on me. Everybody kind of turned their back at that point.
Well, and what's interesting about that is the people who sit back there are the ones who do the accounting, all the money. They count all the money back there, do the register receipts. So all the accounting people, if loss prevention, which is the people who, you know, catch you stealing, that sort of thing, watch the cashiers to make sure they're getting the stuff from under your cart, all that kind of stuff. They sit back there. Sometimes they have their own office, but sometimes they'll sit back there. And district.
Okay.
District people will sit back
Some
there.
corporate people.
As a corporate people, will sit back there.
Yeah, and that's what this person looked like. They looked corporate, and they pretty much just, I mean, they put their foot down, and that was the end of the story. So, I mean, I had questions, and I was just being, I mean, I wasn't screaming, I wasn't yelling, I wasn't swearing. I mean, I was very polite, which might be hard to believe, you know, from, you know, some of the other things I've done. But, you know, I was just like more in shock, like, well, what, you know, I said, well, what happened here? You know, why can't I buy these items? And I was pretty much told, you cannot buy anything in the store. And I said, well, whoa. I said, let's go back a second here. I said, all I'm trying to do is buy this item that you have on clearance, okay, that I bought yesterday on clearance, and it was on clearance today, but obviously didn't ring up that way. There was some discrepancy there. You know, what's the reason behind that? So, you know, this corporate person didn't say anything. So I'm talking to this manager, and he wasn't the main manager. You know, and
he was an assistant manager, not a store manager.
Yeah, he didn't, you know, I learned this later on. But so anyway, he was just like, well, you know, sorry, we can't help you. And I said, well, explain to me this. I said, how can you just raise these prices and expect people to go to the checkout when they've already got it in their cart and they think, well, it's $14.97. And, you know, there's no answer. Just, you know, that's Walmart policy, blah, 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 blah. So I said, you know, well, fine, I'll just buy these at full retail. Because at that point, I'm like, you know what? I've wasted my time here. I've spent a lot of time, and I really want to get this because, I mean, I could turn around and sell for $400 or $500 at profit. That's how much volume I had over there. And then the guy says, the corporate guy goes, nope, you're done. And the next thing you know, he says, sir, we need to ask you to leave. We have an escort here for you, and we need to have you leave Walmart immediately, and don't come back here. So I got escorted out. And I got in my car, and if you go on my Facebook, you can see my video I put on. I mean, literally when I got out of the car, got in the car, I started making that video. And, you know, it's funny because I was confused. I was like, well, I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, so I ended up calling around to the Walmart's called the corporate office, complained about this whole deal, blah, 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 blah. I get a phone call back. I get the phone call back, and they were blowing my phone up nonstop. I mean, every 5 minutes, Kim. I mean, just boom, boom, boom. And I was on the phone actually to somebody, and I was like, man, I got to, you know, switch over, but I can't because, you know, I was trying to work with somebody on something. But anyway, I called them back, and, you know, I'm sitting there talking to this guy, and he is like, he's the actual district manager for this store.
Okay.
You know.
So that's the guy, that really honestly is the guy that's going to be able to do anything for you. He's got the authority to pretty much do anything for any of the Walmarts in the district, in this area.
Yeah, so he's like, hey, this was on my desk. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Can I hear your side? So I explained the whole thing to him. And he's like, oh, my God. You know, he goes, I was actually in that store at that time, and this was never brought to my attention. And, you know, people are going to be reprimanded for all this. And I was like, good. And I just flat out, I was honest with him. I said, listen, here's what I do. I resell. I go into your store. I buy things at a price. And if I can flip it, that's what I'm buying. And I spend a lot of money in your store. And he goes, no. He goes, resellers are more than welcome in this store. We encourage it. Yeah, obviously we don't have commercials saying, hey, resellers come in the door. Right. But, you know, I had a really good conversation with him. And if you're a PICK4PROFIT member, you'll be able to see the conversation. You know, I got all the audio and stuff on it. It was very interesting. And at the end of the day, he's like, you know, hey, for your inconvenience, we can give you some gift cards. And, you know, that wasn't really the point. You know, it was nice for him to offer that.
Yeah, we get some free product now.
I mean, you know, he was like, here. I mean, more than generous. He was more than generous to give me a really nice gift card. And I was like, hey, I really don't want it. I just want to know what the facts are here, so I understand what I'm doing. And I said, am I doing anything wrong by walking in the store with my iPhone and scan products? And he goes, no. I said, because I'm doing it to resell. He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, we can't stop anyone from doing that. We encourage people to, you know, to price match and go look online, and we understand that's how the business is going with people. So we want people to go in there and actually be, you know, shopper savvy, because we were confident in our prices. I mean,
and that's good. Yeah, right. It's good marketing. It's Walmart. You know, you need something, you go to Walmart.
Yeah. So, you know, we're talking blah 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 blah, and you know, he's being real nice, and he's telling me this, that. So we started talking about clearance items, and I said, hey, you know, that's what I was there for. I was there for that item. And he says, Mike, you know, if I was there, I knew about this, I would have given it to you for 50 cents. You know, because why?
Because it makes them it makes them look good.
Yeah.
The more volume they can push out the door, the better that store looks, the more profitable that store is, which makes them look good. The managers get special incentives, the district managers, the store managers, the assistant managers, they all get extra incentives for being a profitable store, like good incentives, portions of the store's profit for the year.
Yeah, so they do well.
Yeah.
And they want to blow things out. I mean, this is what this guy told me. He goes, we blow things out, and this is what we do. And, you know, obviously some of the people you talked to had no clue what was going on with all that, and he apologized. Very nice. So, you know,
because they know they got idiots working for them.
Yeah, I mean, they do. I mean, this guy even said it. He goes, you know what? You know, I just started doing this a year ago in the store. I cleaned it up, done a lot of things, and I was like, yeah, I mean, you've done a great job. The store's clean.
Yeah,
with all the traffic in there, it really is a clean store. It really
is a clean store, yeah.
So, you know, I said, well, let's talk some more. And he goes, yeah. He goes, when you come in the store, ask for me. We'll sit down and talk for 20 minutes, and, you know, I'll show you all about how the clearance works. And, you know, I mean, I built a relationship with this guy pretty much
Which is great, because weren't you telling me earlier that he said, you know what, I can maybe give you a heads up when some of these things are going to go on clearance.
Yeah, he was like, hey, this is great, because he goes, in this store here, you know, we put the stuff on clearance and sometimes it sits. And he goes, with what you're doing, you know, if it makes sense for you to buy that, he goes, I might just call you or text you.
What a fabulous contact to have. Yeah. I mean, like, when Mike was telling me this, my eyes just got big. I was like, oh my gosh. And again, I worked there 15 plus years ago, so things were, you know, certainly way different at that time. But I'm thinking, my God, can you imagine now having this contact? If somebody from Walmart inside is going to call you and say, hey, we're putting this item on clearance, you can hurry up and look it up and say, yes, I will take every one that you have.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about the whole conversation. But is he bending the rules? You know what I mean?
Well, he might be.
You know, by making that outside phone call and saying, hey, heads up, Mike. I'm doing this.
He might be.
You know, I don't know, and that's why it's kind of a different. It's kind of a different situation, really. It's
interesting.
It's an interesting.
It's something to follow up on. You know, why not?
And see what happens. But at the same time, I mean, that's where it kind of boiled down to. And then I got another phone call from the corporate end with, oh my God, we're so sorry. What could we do? You know, and it went on and on and on. And you know, obviously somewhere down the line they saw something on my Facebook. And that's where their concern was, because they're like, oh, Jesus, you know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it worked itself out.
Well, and that's the thing. It worked itself out. We possibly have kind of an inside contact. It'll be interesting to follow that lead up. And Mike's allowed back in Walmart again.
I'm back in. So I'm back in. I can go and pick and you know, try to, you know, scout some stuff. Because Walmart is some Walmarts really, they suck. They suck. You can't find anything in there to flip.
Yeah.
But this one, it's a superstore. It's big, and I mean, they've just got stuff going on there all the time, and you know, and that's the big thing. What he kind of focused on was like, hey, at any given time, we will mark stuff up.
Yeah.
So be aware of that, right? If you're in that situation, because at first you might feel like they're picking on you.
Yeah.
But I think now that I look back on it, when they were jacking the price up on me in the toys, that they were probably just doing their job, and I just didn't realize what was going on.
Yeah, well, and I can say they do get emails and alerts from the corporate office saying you need to change the pricing to this price now. So they get that all the time.
Yeah.
So, and with, you know, some of those toy items, for example, the Frozen, I know you've talked about some of those a little bit. That just got nominated for a Golden Globe as Best Animated Film. So they're probably all over that, saying, well, shoot, it just got this nomination. These things are flying off the shelves, maybe thanks to Mike, who knows. But,
well, and to everybody else.
And
that,
everybody
you know,
else has been listening. But, you know, yeah, we need to change our price point on this. We need to jack it up.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one thing after even talking to the manager there, and I hope he doesn't get in trouble because he was a pretty stand-up guy. But he flat out told me, he goes, yeah, we get those alerts that come through, and it's for the hot stuff that you can saw online, and we're just trying to put our price back up. Like and he made sense because he said we are no different than any other business.
They want to make money.
Yeah,
they want to be
if we
competitive.
can make an extra $6 on a hot item, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it might push us resellers out of the game at that point. But hey, there's always something else. You know, don't frown on something when it happens. I mean, at first I was kind of irritated, but it's business, right?
Sometimes it takes a minute to sit back and think about it.
Fun. All right, so let's get into some questions here, and we kind of forget the whole Walmart thing. It was kind of, you know, it's in the past, and you know, I'll post you guys on what happens with, you know, when I go talk to them and find some sources for it, and blah blah
All right.
blah.
So Destroyer76 had a question that actually was sort of answered by the Walmart thing, but I want to make sure that I just put that question out there. These replenishable items, do you clear the shelves of these items when you buy them? Do any stores give you a problem if they think you're a reseller? And so I think Mike's kind of Walmart situation yesterday answers that. Yes, sometimes we do clear off the shelves, and yes, sometimes we do have a problem.
Yeah, and it really, you know, it comes down to the item, I think, and the rank. Where if you've got an item, like, I mean, I'm always testing different products, guys. I mean, I am going in and just, you know, I'll see 50 of them there, but, you know, I'm not that sure. I mean, I'm a risk taker, but at the same time, I mean, I am very, very tight with my money. So if I can get something and I see there's 50 of them there, I'll grab 10 or 15 and let's see if it works really fast, right? If it works, then I'm all in, and I go back and swoop it up. Now, sometimes you try to play that game, and you know what? You missed out, and you should have bought them all. And that happens. And it's just, you know, you got to remember with Amazon, when you're doing the retail arbitrage, the most important thing to understand is it's going to cost you money to make money. Right, Kim? I mean, you have to lay some coin out to make some money.
Yeah.
And that's the name of the game. But really, the name of the game when it comes to that is when you get your disbursements. You get that money back. That's now how you're managing your business. You're right. You got to put some aside for maybe bills, you know, cost of living, you know, savings, and then, you know, back for more. Because once you get the disbursement, if you stop and you just take and say, hey, you know, I got my, you know, $3,000 or $500, and then, I mean, you're dealt with what's left in your Amazon store.
Yep.
And if you don't keep replenishing or reinvesting, you're not going to keep going forward with Amazon. Right.
You got it. Yeah. You got to keep buying product, keep looking for new product to put in there. And yeah, I mean, the thing with Amazon is you are going to have to spend a little bit of money because it's retail arbitrage, a lot of the stuff. Maybe you're going to spend a little bit more than you would have at a thrift store, but generally, if you're doing things, you know, smartly, you're going to have a higher rate of return than you would with some of those other items.
Let's be honest here. I mean, you've seen me go in these stores, buy these items, and gone crazy and spend all this money.
Yeah.
And when I'm done packaging these, whether it's merchant fulfilled, and then usually with the merchant fulfilled, you hear me going, "Oh my God, I sold them!
Yeah.
I sold every one of them.
Yep.
Now I got to package them, right?" But the ones that are I'm sending off to FBA. Those go out there, and then what do you usually hear me say? Oh, I sold every one of them. They got checked in.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a win-win.
It's not like you have. There's been very few things, and occasionally you get a dud. Yeah. Everybody does, but there's been very few things that Mike has sold, or I should say, purchased that haven't sold. He's always been, you know, spot on, and even when he's got, you know, 3 cartloads up and he's spending a couple grand, and I'm looking at him like, oh my God, Mike, what are you doing? You're spending all this money, you know, and I start freaking out. And it's when I have to remind myself, he's not steered us wrong before. Yeah. He's not. He's always made money off it. He's always, you know, doubled our money on it, or many times tripled or quadrupled the money that we have into it. So, you know, he knows what he's buying, and I trust in him that he knows what he's buying. But, you know, it is sometimes hard for me because I'm a little tighter. I'm even tighter than Mike with the wallet. And so sometimes I'm going, okay, we've got this and this and this that we have to pay. I need to trust that it's going to pan out. And it does. And then within a couple of days, it's like, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And I'm like, oh, my God, why was I even worried?
But that's the thing is, it is, you know, at first, and even, I mean, down the road where I'm at, guys, I mean, I'm spending a lot of money. I mean, Kim, right?
Yeah, there are times where I'm sweating.
I'm shelling out some serious coin, and I'm like, is this going to happen again next week? And it keeps happening.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about it. And, you know, I think when
likes to make me sweat sometimes.
Yeah, I think when you start to hear me say, guys, the end of the road has come. When that word comes out of my mouth, do not go in and try to buy.
Yeah.
But I'm encouraging everybody right now who's listening to this, if you're not doing it, or if you're doing it and you're just buying a couple things here and there, the gates are wide open, and it is a freaking gold mine. Yeah,
you need to, if you want to make serious money, you need to not just have little onesie-twosie things here and there. You need to build up yourself a little bit of an inventory. And that kind of leads us into a couple of these next questions. A lot of these questions actually tonight are about Amazon calculating fees, rate of return, that sort of thing. But Luis Ortega says, you know, how do I send just a single book to FBA? And I saw this question, and I just want to say, on piggybacking off of what we were just talking about, I'm not really sure why you would send just a single book. If you're talking about just sending one thing to sell, or are you talking about, well, you've got a shipment with some other stuff, and then you can just go ahead and throw the book in there with it. I mean, because you can put multiple different kinds of items in a box. But I guess I'm just not sure why you'd want to send just one single book, and that's what you want to sell on Amazon.
Yeah, don't take this the wrong way, but, you know, at the same time, when you're doing shipments to Amazon, you want to be able to send as many items as you can to fit in the box, really. And you know, there's no limit, but there's also no minimum. I mean, you could send the one book, but I think what you would find by sending just one book to Amazon, it wouldn't be cost effective. It wouldn't be cost effective unless you had, you know, $1,000 or $100, $500 book, and you want to get it there really fast. And I can understand that, right? Because you got to remember, you're going to pay shipping. You're paying some fees just to ship one item, okay? And I've done that with items, but they were, you know, over the size limit. They were bigger items, and I wanted to get them there, but there was a lot of profit in these items. I think if you've got some books, or if you just have the one book, wait until you get more. I mean, that's pretty much a simple answer.
Yeah.
Just fill a box full of it and get it there, because, I mean, you can send a box to Amazon, 35-pound box, and you could ship it, at least for me, from Arizona to Tennessee. It's like $12.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like crazy pricing.
They have the best shipping rates I've ever seen. I mean, it's really unbelievable.
And the crazy thing is I sit there and go, how is that possible that they can get that price, right? And I know how they get the price, the volume, right?
The volume.
And they might be taking a beating on it through UPS. They might be losing 10 cents, you know, a pound through UPS just to get the volume through. I mean, you work the numbers, but think about this. If I was to bring a 36-pound box just to the post office, or even UPS under our UPS account, I couldn't get that price.
No.
Obviously, you know. And, you know, you look at it and go, you can't even drive 200 miles without spending $30.
Right.
you know?
It's ridiculous, the pricing.
But yeah, you can ship
have.
something, you know, UPS to Amazon for $12. Crazy.
So the next question, and like I said, a lot of these are kind of maybe piggyback off of each other, but Colest just sold their first FBA item. Congratulations.
Way to go, dude.
But not sure how to calculate how much money I make for the sale. If I merchant fulfill, the email clearly tells me, but with the FBA sale, I can't see how much money I get for the sale. How do you calculate the revenue?
Well, there's two options. Before you really list, or actually list an item on Amazon, they have that FBA revenue calculator where you can go in there and put your price in. You'll see exactly what you're going to make. You'll see the fees, right? Now with the new upgrade, and it's not actually a new upgrade, but they added this in the past, I think 30 days, you can actually see the price next to your item when you look under the inventory. When you go to manage inventory, you'll see right next to it, that's the price, okay? On completed orders, what you can do is same thing. Under, the manage orders, you can see the orders and you can see what you sold the item for, and you can break down the fees and see it there. So those are the three ways to see the fees, obviously. And, it's at first it gets exciting, Amazon, I tell you. Sending items in, it can get kind of hectic when you start sending 200-300 items in, and they're selling, and you're going, well, that's great. But you got to look at the fine details. You got to see, well, how much profit did I make there? How much data? You got to look at the data. It's so important. And with that data, you can say, hey, I took $3 into 22, right? And you'll see that information. But if you took $3 into 5 and you thought you made 20, then you'll catch the mistake and you won't do it again. But yeah, that's where the information's at, is the way I just described there. And it's very, very important to understand your costs.
Oh yeah, you've got to know what you're making. You've absolutely got to know what the bottom line comes down to, which kind of goes in actually to Mark's question here. And Mark says, he's studying FBA, trying to wrap his head around it, looking into all the rank and price and competition, all that. So he found a particular item, and it's going for $11 on Amazon. But in Walmart, it's only $4. And he says, people really will pay that higher price? Yes, Mark, they will.
Yeah.
Think of the people, and Mike can elaborate here, but I'm going to answer that. Think of the people who don't leave their house. People who are homebound, people who, for maybe they have phobias about being in crowded stores, or maybe they can't get that particular item in their area. Maybe it's something specific to the West Coast that just really isn't sold on the East Coast, and they're willing to pay for that.
Oh, even look at somebody who's disabled. I mean, they can't leave the house, like you said, but also look at somebody who's like a doctor, where the doctor can say, well, I'll spend 10 minutes here on Amazon, get what I need. I mean, he can get food, he can get whatever, presents for, and just place the order. Because when somebody's wealthy, guys, and they have money, there's two different types of people when they're wealthy. The first wealthy person is, well, money's no object, I'll pay for whatever. I'll pay for the service.
Any price.
Yeah, and then there's the wealthy person that is very frugal, who, they look at every penny. And obviously, that person that's very frugal is not shopping on Amazon.
They might not be.
They might not be, honestly. But there's so many different ways to play this card. And with me saying that, it's convenience. I think is the biggest thing.
I do too.
It comes in 2 days. You don't have to worry about it. No sweat off the back. It's there. And
well, let me tell you. You know what? My dad is an Amazon shopper. I mean, I actually think my dad's addicted to Amazon. He needs like Amazon Anonymous, because every other day there's a package. They live in a gated community, and the security guard actually came to their house and knocked on their door and said, we'd like to know why you're receiving so many packages from UPS.
Good rating, sir. Reviews.
And my dad's like, well, I just order a lot of stuff from Amazon. And he's also a Walmart shopper as well. And he's kind of interested in the price of the item, but he's more interested in the convenience. My dad has started to have a hard time with mobility. It's harder for him to get around. He has terrible arthritis that makes it very difficult for him to move. And so he would prefer to order the thing on Amazon. He's a Prime member. He gets it in 2 days. It comes to him. He can open it up and play with it. And he's willing to wait that 2 days. Normally, it's not something that he's gotta wait for. I mean, we were at their house this week, and you should have seen their garage is full of Amazon products.
Amazon Prime boxes.
Yeah, it's just
I mean, but you know
ridiculous.
what? That's the guy you want.
That's your buyer.
That is your buyer. That is the guy that...
My dad is your buyer.
if Amazon gets to his house 3 days late or a day late after the 2 days, I mean, he's on the phone. And he's freaking pissed.
Oh, yeah. I don't pay for this service for it to be late. Oh, my dad's... He's a horrible customer, maybe.
But, he knows how it is. But that's why he likes Amazon, is that they deliver on time.
Right. And that, to him, is super important, that convenience right there.
Talk about Walmart, how Walmart screwed him.
Well, okay. So, over the holidays here.
Walmart.com.
I have a nephew. He's 18 months old, and there was a particular product that, it was a bigger like, ride-on toy. that my sister wanted for her son. And my dad said, okay, we'll go ahead and get that. And so he ordered it from Walmart because it was one of the hot products, and Amazon had it for quite a bit more than Walmart.com did. So he ordered it from Walmart.com. He ordered this product on the weekend of Thanksgiving weekend. He ordered this product, and by about the 19th or so of December, the product still had not arrived to my sister in Illinois. And he called up Walmart.com and is like, hey, what is going on? I don't even see a tracking number where, this item hasn't been received yet. I just talked to my daughter. Walmart didn't even ship the item. It had not even left their warehouse. My dad was furious. He went around telling everybody he knew he will never order from Walmart.com again because they didn't even ship their item. He's like, his grandson didn't get the present for Christmas. He ended up having to go and get it later because by the time he found it all out and with the weekend and everything, there was just no way he was going to get it in time. So,
well, that's the thing. I mean, with that whole mentality right there, that whole just what happened.
Yeah.
You got to remember, Amazon online, and I don't even know, I could be way off the numbers, is like an $80 billion business.
Oh,
right?
I'm sure.
Compared to Walmart's 10. So you got those big differences there. Walmart is going, what is Amazon doing that they can offer this to people in 2 days? I mean, Walmart, you know what? When Sam Walmart was there and he was doing it, it was all personal, this is that. They've grown like a big monster. And you know what? It's a profitable monster.
Well, sure.
As much as I hate some of the things they do, I think by, like
profitable.
I said earlier, they're making money, they're expanding, and you know what? For me to go through that experience with all that and see how fast they responded, I was impressed. I really was. And Kim, you know me with Walmart.
I'm actually quite impressed with the way they responded because even when I worked there, and again, years and years ago, it was not that quick of a turnaround time. They didn't want to deal with you.
Yeah, and just from like when your dad was saying that, I mean, they have dropped the ball on. Your dad's not the only one. I've seen horror stories.
Oh, sure.
And that's where Amazon Prime is so beneficial.
Yeah.
That's why you need to sell and send your stuff FBA.
Those are the customers that you want. If you don't send them FBA, you're looking at probably 3/4 of Amazon's customers that you're losing. There are so many that are Prime. Remember, they had to shut it off at Christmas time. So
it's crazy.
It's a lot. So let's go ahead and M. Hendrick, your question's kind of piggybacking off of this. Someone like me that has never done Amazon does not know what is considered a good rating. What does 300K mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, the rankings are all over the place, okay? And this is Amazon's secret. This is their way of taking the data and by putting it out and saying, here it is. It's ranked 10. Mm-hmm. Well, the lower the rank, the better it sells. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, if you have an item that's ranked 1, I mean, I don't even know how to calculate that because obviously I'm not Amazon, but you'd probably be selling. I mean, if you had 100 of that item, they would be gone probably. They'd be gone in an hour.
Oh my God! Well, there were so many things. Even right now, there are a couple things that you've bought that the rank was fairly low. I mean, it wasn't like 1 or 2, but it was fairly low.
Yeah.
And they were gone within an hour.
Yeah.
Less than an hour, 30 minutes.
Rank. I mean, I'm talking like rank 400 guys, rank 1,000. I mean, there's variables in place, but if you're looking at a rank that's under 100, it's competitive. It's super competitive. Even 1,000s are competitive, and I think what you have to look at is really their rank. All right, and then justify and say, well, okay, if it's ranked 10,000 in toys, how many will I sell in a day? Mm-hmm. I can honestly say this, that if it's 10,000 ranked, you should be able to sell a couple. Mm-hmm. Right? A couple a day.
Yeah.
I think you could maybe even sell. It just depends. I mean, Well,
but you could have something that's ranked, 300,000 and you have it checked in, and for whatever reason at that very moment, the right buyer happens to be on looking for that item. So the higher, basically what Mike's trying to say is the higher the rank, generally the longer amount of time
Sure.
it'll take to sell. It's a generalization. I'm not saying
Yeah,
always,
yeah.
but in general, that's the way a new seller should look at it. If
Yes.
it's a higher rank,
It's
it's going to take
more
a
time.
little longer
Yeah,
to
yeah.
sell.
But, you know, I mean, we've sent in books that were ranked like 2-3 million.
Right.
And they get checked in, and it's like, boom, sold. And it's like, well, why did that 2-3 million rank sell that fast? Maybe because the right buyer was there at the right freaking time.
Well, exactly. I mean, really, that's all it would
It's number
have to
games,
be.
isn't it, Kim?
Yeah.
I mean, this is really, it's just a number game. And that's what I like about Amazon. It's smart business. I mean, these people, they've got it going on over there, without a doubt. I mean, they're
Super organized.
Yeah, super organized. The sales rank. I mean, it makes sense in my mind because I can go, all right, I'll scan this, this firming body lotion, and it's ranked 6,000, and I can triple my money on it. I'm all over it.
Right. I've gotten it for a good enough price that I'm okay if I need to sit on this for a little bit.
But honestly, that rank for health and beauty at that what I just said, I could probably sell maybe, I don't know. I'm guessing, guys, here, right? But I'm going off what my data is, and that's important to figure out what your data is when you say, okay, yeah, I sold something 6,000 health and beauty. I've sold 80 things in one day on health and beauty at that rank.
Right.
Right. I've got something now in like pets, the pet area.
Yeah.
I mean, we know what that that one thing. And then that one there, I mean, I've sold 15, 20 of them, and that thing's ranked at like 21,000. So it's kind of all over the place, and you got to remember, people are coming in, being competitive. It's all about that buy box, and that's the most important thing. You get that buy box when you check in your shipments, and you've got a quantity of 30 on something really hot, you'll probably sell out. Mm-hmm. And then go, whoa, just happened. What just happened here?
Yeah. But as a general rule, the higher the rank, the longer it might take you to sell. But talking about being competitive, that sort of leads us into Jack's question, who says, a few of the items I shipped to FBA just got there. So it seems like it took a little, the way he's written it seems like it's taken them a little bit to get there. And he's already been undercut, he says. He might make a couple of dollars profit each if he can sell them. What kind of advice do you get? And unfortunately,
that happens.
It's the gamble.
This is why I want to focus on this right now. If you're going after hot items, like super seller ranks are like under 2,000, even 1,000. Okay, if you're buying it at full retail, you might want to try merchant fulfilled.
Yeah.
And see if you can get rid of them at that price at that day. Okay, because think about it, guys. When you send that item out to FBA Amazon, I mean, for me, I mean, for us, it takes 7 days.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
well,
over the holiday,
we had some that took like 2 weeks.
Yeah. And it gets checked in, and you go, whoa. I thought I was going to make the bank on this.
Right. Now I'm screwed.
Now I'm kind of screwed, and now, I can still make a little bit of money, but, it's taking $20 when I buy, 20 items at $20, thinking I'm going to make, $70 a piece.
Yeah. And
And
now
the next thing I'm down
like,
to $2 an item.
Yeah.
It's frustrating as all hell. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad. But, I think with those items that you're grabbing, the best thing to do is merchant fulfill them. Okay? You got to test it because that merchant fulfill is a powerful tool, Kim. I mean, don't you think?
Yeah,
I mean,
we still merchant fulfill.
Yeah.
We don't FBA everything. If something's super hot, I mean, for Christmas, the majority of the stuff we did at Christmas time, we merchant fulfilled just because we wanted to make that bank right now. We knew it was a hot seller. We knew it was moving, and we knew that it would take too long to get to FBA, and unfortunately, we could be undercut by the time, or the bottom could have dropped out. But I think you have to remember too, you are taking kind of a gamble. You're
at the blackjack table.
Yeah, this is a gambling sort of thing. It's like going to the casino, and you put your $20 on Black 17, hoping that that's the spin that's going to come up.
Yeah, you're on the roulette table, and then there it is, 17, and you hit it, and you can hit it 5 times in a row and go, this is great, and then you're throwing all your chips in. That's where you're making a mistake.
Right.
Because never throw all your chips in with Amazon. And, right now, it's January, middle of January.
Yeah.
We're selling stuff merchant fulfilled.
Yeah. Still selling stuff merchant fulfilled.
And, until I start to see, I have got something in my mind where I say, I'm cut off from this. I'm not, all right, I'm either going to sell it merchant fulfilled, but I have a process in my mind where I need to go from merchant fulfilled to FBA. And that's a big process for me on an item that's a hot item. Mm-hmm. Because, guys, if you've been doing FBA, you've been doing Amazon for a while on a hot product, it could change tomorrow on you.
Yeah, and I think you just kind of need to watch those trends. That's really what it boils down to, is watch the trends and decide when, okay, you know what, it seems like this is starting to slow, so now I think is maybe my time to either stop buying that product, or I still think this is going to be a good seller in the future, in the long run, and so I'm going to take the rest of my inventory now, send it into FBA, and I'm comfortable waiting on that.
Yeah, and I think that's well said. You know, you look at everything you buy as a stock, okay? That's what you have to think. Stock, 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 all right? Chex Mix, I didn't look at the Chex Mix like that's Chex Mix. I didn't care.
Right.
I looked at it and said, that's a stock, and right now, for $3 retail or the pennies I was paying for it,
right,
it was a stock that was selling for $25.
Right. All day long.
And that day. And so I said, you know what, I'm taking advantage of it, and I'm going to do merchant filled. Now, I could have sent it in FBA, and I have done that with those type of products, and it worked out. And sometimes it doesn't work out, okay? But if you're on a hot product, the best advice I can give you is merchant fill it.
Yeah.
People will pay merchant filled, so.
And that kind of, Bob, I think we might have answered your question here. You asked how long it takes certain FBA items to sell. I can honestly say we have things that have been on there for over a year or more. We still have things that we've sent in that haven't sold.
But those items that we put out there were paid over and over and over.
Yeah.
I mean
I'm
we're talking about books.
Books, yeah. I mean, books that in that book lot, we talked about that last time, that book lot that we purchased. So these are penny books. It's just a matter of,
they're just sitting there, and they've made me great money from what we paid for them. I mean, we had $1 in them, guys.
Well, basically, our theory on that is it's sitting there because Kim doesn't want it taking up room in her house.
Yeah.
So it's our storage facility at that point.
And at a penny a month for item, it's no big deal. There might come a time in 3 years from now I might say, man, you know what? I'm holding on to that $600.
Let's just destroy it.
Destroy them or send them back.
Sell them at a garage sale for a quarter or whatever.
But even then, you can't. It's hard to sell them.
Yeah, it might not be able to.
I mean, we couldn't dump
well,
the
that's
stuff.
true.
But that's the thing. But that's the risk. But I tell you what, buy the big book lots when you find them, and send them in. I mean, I'm stoked about the results we have with the books.
Yeah,
and all the book lots we've bought since then.
Yeah,
I will do it every day. I'll send every book in.
Yep.
I'm not going to sit there and go, well,
I'm not going to pass it up.
Yeah, it's under $5. I'm not going to send it in. No, I'm going to send them all in, and I'll roll the dice and see what happens.
Yeah, no, not going to pass that up at all, ever. I'm guessing this is Polish Rob, maybe Polish Rob. Mike, I have a question here. I have individually packaged items that I would like to sell FBA, but I want to sell it as a 4-pack. Can I do this? And are there any special guidelines I need to follow to do so?
Well, yeah,
we did that with the Chex Mix. That
yeah,
about.
I mean, with the with the when you're doing the multi-pack stuff, you want to package it together. Okay, so if you've got them all individually packed, and they're in front of you, package them. You got to package them together.
Yeah,
they got to be in
the same poly bag.
Same poly bag. You got to put those 4 items in that poly bag and send them that way, and one barcode on that 4-pack, right? It's one of those things where you just got to kind of follow the guidelines. And Amazon's got some great guidelines. They tell you what you need to do to send it to them. But like you were saying there, Rob. I mean, it's one of those things. Multi-packs, big money in it, huge money.
Yeah.
I mean, we're staring at this item right here. Let's not give it away.
No.
Right. But I screwed up on it.
Yeah.
Okay? I
scanned it.
I scanned this item through Profit Bandit, and I love Profit Bandit. And I know there's other softwares out there and everything like that, but I mean, I'm a Profit Bandit fan.
Which that's actually answering Major's question. Yeah. Can you suggest some scanning apps? So Profit Bandit's the one that we use the most.
Profit Bandit, I'd recommend it 100%. It's got some flaws and stuff like that, but overall, I've worked through it. But here's an item where there was a flaw.
Yeah.
All right, and I scanned this, and I said, holy mother of God. And I was like...
He's like running through the store. God. Kim, oh my God.
And I'm sitting there with this item, and there's like 42 more on the shelf. But I've never sold this item. So I was thinking in my brain, you know what, let me just grab one real quick. I mean, the rank on this is like 185.
So it's going to fly.
This thing will fly off the shelf. So I was like, let me just test it. Let me just go, I got one here. I know where they're at. I mean, it's not like anybody's going to go in there and rate it really quick.
Right.
So,
he's running. He's like, Kim, we're going to get this. Look at the rate. He's showing me on the phone.
Yeah,
I'm like,
stoked.
oh, my God.
Oh, God.
I'm like, you're kidding me.
I'm like a kid at the toy aisle. I'm like Anthony at the toy aisle. But anyway, I'm sitting there, and the situation happens. I bring it home, and it didn't tell me that it was a 2 or a multi-pack, right? And I even clicked on it even further on the ASIN and went to camel, and nothing. Didn't even tell me it was a multi-pack. I go to list it, and now it's a multi-pack. I'm like, damn.
And it wasn't like it was 2. It was like 6 or 8 of them together.
No, this one was a 3-pack.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I'm going back tomorrow and buying the rest of them.
Buy the other 2?
Yeah, I'm buying, I'm buying, well, I'm going to have 3 packs of it, but I'm buying every one because this is health and beauty, and, here, let's just give out, guys, it's Johnson & Johnson.
Oh,
okay.
A Johnson & Johnson
Johnson
product.
Johnson's product, right? I'm going to go back, yeah.
I didn't know that was a Johnson & Johnson product.
You think, and it's priced high.
This
product I'm talking about?
This is a higher priced beauty
this
product.
Is like, walking into freaking Macy's.
Yeah, this
should be sitting over at Macy's.
Yeah, it is a higher priced beauty item.
But, I knew that, that was the whole reason why I didn't buy everything, is because I didn't bring this coupons I had. I got all these coupons for this product, and I didn't bring them with, and I was like, oh, man, I'm going to miss out. Guys, when you get into the zone with this, you start freaking out. So I just bought one thinking, well, let me go test it. If it works out and I can sell one merch filled, I'll go back tomorrow and clean out. Well, that was where I was at now with this. Now I got to multi-pack it. Not a problem. The multi-pack, you're still banking.
Right.
And people want this. The rank is just silly. Anyway, here's the hint. It moisturizes all day long. It's lightly fragranced. It's with shiitake mushrooms.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
And it's got another component. But if you're smart enough, figure it out. Go look it up. The stuff is like gold to people. Here's why it's gold, I think. Because Jennifer Aniston said something on Oprah about it.
Oh, well, anyway. Probably. So Brian asks, as long as we were kind of talking about multi-packing, how do you FBA barcode printing with just an inkjet printer? Is it a specific Avery label? Avery label?
Yeah, Avery.
I don't know.
You spelled it right.
No, it's spelled right.
You saw specific and got confused with the F's and the V's.
It's been a long, long day. My students were driving me up a wall today, and so it's been a long day.
Mrs. Kim.
Mrs. Franco. They don't call me Mrs. Kim.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, that right there, you can go get the 8160 Avery labels for sure. Get the Easy Peel. You should be able to pick them up anywhere. Office Max, Walmart. I think they've got a big pack there for like $6 or $8.
Yeah.
Super
simple.
Stuff. Yeah,
super simple.
Super stuff.
Colest is wondering about reserved status. Do you see any items sit in a reserved status for a number of days? And it looks like specifically, I'm not sure if this is a man or a woman, but they've got some items that say in reserved for 2 days as an FBA or a new FBA, or is it possible Amazon are checking my items?
Well, I think what you're referring to when you say reserved is pending orders, okay? And I was just talking about this recently. If you go into your Amazon and go into the advanced settings under My Orders, you can see your pending orders there. And I think that's a great tool because it's obviously not like presented to you right through Seller Central on Amazon. You have to go in and look at it. But if you're looking at your inventory all the time and a shipment just gets checked in, you might say, well, man, some things are missing on here, and I didn't get an alert saying I sold the item. They're in that pending stage. And they can be in that pending stage for 7 days. And when they're in that pending stage for 7 days, there's, pretty much what it is, there was an issue with the payment. Okay?
So somebody bought it, they put it in their cart, they checked out, and there was an issue with the payment. Now, could it be someone put it in their cart and then walked away from the computer and has it come back?
No.
It's
got to go through the checkout phase. It actually went through the checkout phase, went through the credit card. The credit card could have failed. The billing address could be wrong. There could be so many different things, but more than likely the credit card failed. But the customer still has the option to go back in there and update it, and that'll happen for 7 days. Okay, and I have found in just from my data, 80 to 85% of those orders, when you look at them under the Manage Orders, go to the Advanced tab, select All Orders, All Fulfillment Channels, and you will see the pending orders. And trust me, when you see them there for the first time, you go, now I see what you're saying. Yeah, there'll be a ton in there, especially when your box gets checked in. That's the first thing I look at when it says we've received your order.
Yeah.
I go right to that pending order, and it's all grayed out. And that's when you know, now it's not 100% sure you're selling every one of those items, guys, okay? Because somebody could have had a bad credit card. You never know what the situation is. But 80 to 85% of those will sell through.
Interesting.
It'll work. Yeah, it is interesting because that's what I look at. Because I learned this a long time ago.
You know what? I know. I remember you saying,
"Where's my stuff?"
Yeah, where's my stuff? It says it's been checked in. Why don't I see it? I haven't received a confirmation that something's been sold or anything like that. And you're like, where's my stuff going?
Yeah, and it was just in that pending area, and I think that's what you're talking about. I hope that is. If not, and you're listening here, let me know. Send me another message.
Yeah, post another message. We'll clarify that up. Which kind of goes into Will's question here. Why would an item be restricted for sale on Amazon? And we had I think we talked about that last time a little bit with the movies. Certain movie companies don't want it sold below a certain price, or they want
to make out first.
Yeah, they want to make it out first, and then
that's something to really pay attention to, because you might be on a hot item and say, "Man, there's nobody FBA on this." And you go home to find out that it's restricted.
Yeah, we had that problem with some DVDs, so we waited it out.
Yeah, we had a problem with Little Mermaid. I just put it on Facebook earlier this week, and I bought it with all intentions to sell it on Amazon.
Yeah,
because I'm like, it's Diamond Edition, Little Mermaid Blu-ray. How can I go wrong at this price? And when I brought the stuff home, I was restricted. And then I said, well, you know what? Let me just run a different route. And I sold them through my wholesale network on eBay. And, I was happy with that result.
Yeah.
eBay, I sold it for $21.
Yeah.
Because nobody can sell that item.
Right.
So there was a push towards eBay for it. And, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
It's Blu-ray. It's Disney. And you know what? Go look at those Disney. Hey, here's a tip right now. If you're buying Disney movies, right, when they first come out, and when they say they're Diamond Edition or they're limited, buy them, okay? Buy them, and then you're going to have to sit on them for a little bit. Just a little bit, like Robert De Niro says, a little bit.
A little bit, just a little bit.
But you know what? I have had such great success with that, and that's going to lead me to another question I saw, and I don't know who asked me about it. I might have touched on this a couple times on Spreecast, but the whole, counterfeit DVD stuff, all right?
Oh, yeah.
I talked to Amazon about this, and this is just what they told me, okay? You can call them up yourself and ask them flat out. If a customer says, hey, he sold me a counterfeit DVD, okay? Yeah, Amazon's going to red flag you, okay? But they're also going to want to see if that continues, okay? That doesn't mean you're kicked off. I'm telling you
You're not going to get kicked off.
No.
I call up and say, AYZ seller mailed me a counterfeit CD. They're not going to kick AYZ seller off right away?
No, they're not. And if they did that, think about it, guys. I would be sitting there right now and buying DVDs off of these other sellers and calling up Amazon and say it is a bootleg. Okay, think how easy that would be for your
competition.
Exactly.
Knocked
then
off.
You're the only one on selling DVDs. So if anybody's telling you this or you're scared of it, don't be scared. But you got to know what you're buying.
Though.
Yeah,
be smart.
If you don't know what a bootleg DVD looks like, hit me up on Facebook, or maybe I need to make a video and show you exactly what it looks like, because it's obvious. So don't be alarmed by that. Like, well, I'm not going to risk everything over a DVD. They will give you a chance if you get flagged the one time, right? And you call them up and say, hey, either they're lying, but if you get hit with that second strike, you're going to be going down for the count like Rocky.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
And
just be careful.
They
know
also
what
got
you're
to back
selling.
it up too. They also have to back.
The
if you sold it
seller,
FBA,
or the buyer,
if you sold it FBA, they have to send it back to Amazon. And trust me, Amazon is looking at that return product, and they're going to be able to say, yes, this is a knockoff.
See, and that's the nice thing. That's the nice difference selling at FBA as opposed to eBay, where the seller or the buyer can just go in and be like, oh, that seller sent me this, and eBay's like, oh, well, okay, we'll give you your money back. Whereas when you're selling at FBA, they've got to send it back to Amazon, and they've got a division that checks.
Oh yeah,
that.
And here's the thing too: is if you send your stuff to FBA and you say it's new, okay, and it is brand new, right? It's not like some seller can go in there and sell something that was used and say it's brand new.
Right.
It'll red flag. And I was just, while we were talking about this really quick, I was thinking, I'm like, man, scammers can scam the heck out of this system. And Amazon did not tell me exactly how that whole counterfeit stuff works, but they are on top of it. And they said, hey, we understand when your competition or somebody is trying to frame you and get you off of Amazon. We're here to protect you, and that was what I liked about it.
That was
They were
nice.
like, hey,
They know what's going on.
Yeah, if it happens to you, we'll listen to you. We'll hear what you have to say. But you got to remember, if it's FBA, we've got that product. So don't worry about it.
So I think a good way to protect yourself is if you are going to sell media, sell it FBA.
Yeah.
Don't sell it merchant
Do
fulfilled.
not sell it merchant fulfilled. I'll tell you this right now. I mean,
You'll be protected if you sell it
send
FBA.
everything media, CD, DVD, VHS. Send it FBA, and that's what I do. And I'm not worried about it right now. And if somebody said, Mike, here's 1,000 DVDs or media, I will buy it all day long and sell it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
FLT1979 says, I enjoy your videos. Thank you. And I'm working on setting up a seller account on Amazon. Do it. Just do it.
Yeah, do it.
Did you register your business, get a seller's license with your state? He's just kind of trying to figure out what he needs to do with a business name, registering a business name and that sort of thing. And he's in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, if this is something you say to yourself, you know what, I'm dedicated, I'm going to do this. Hey, go get the business license. It doesn't cost that much.
No.
I mean, you got to go through your county, maybe through your township, then to the state.
I mean, it varies, so you're going to need to
vary.
look into that.
You got to look at the information based
state.
on where you're at and get it, because then when you get that, go into the next level. Get your reseller's license, right? I mean, this stuff is what you want, and you're able to write things off, on your taxes as a business, right? But if you're in the market,
you're just doing it as an amateur.
Yeah,
if you're part time, I wouldn't spend the money and go through the hassle of that.
Right? But if this is something you're saying, hey, I'm dedicating my time. This is what I'm doing now for the next 10 years or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Just get it done, right? Because you'll stand out. You will stand out as a business. Okay. Create the Facebook page. Get your business going that way. Dabble with, do the eBay. I mean, we're focused here a lot on Amazon lately because that's what the hype's about. But I mean, eBay, right?
eBay's been doing great lately.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God. I mean, we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But it's creating an image, and when people see, it's ABC Export. Let's say that's the company. Let's say that's your company there. FLT. They respect that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they don't respect, John Kelly in Buffalo, New York.
Right.
Right. But they expect better from you. They will buy from you.
Yeah, some people would prefer to buy from something that looks like a business as opposed to, like my dad. My dad will not buy merchant fulfilled.
Yeah.
And he prefers something that looks like a company name.
Yeah.
That's just his quirkiness, but I'm sure he's not alone out there. There's others.
And that's where eBay kind of, and Amazon, they brought that anybody can sell program to the table, right? But if you're a business owner, you got to start thinking outside of those two areas too. I mean, if you go and get your business registered, then you go buy the domain name. Go buy the domain name, right? And go buy the email. Don't say, well, I got the domain name, and I don't want to spend $6 a month on the hosting, and just get the email address. Get FLT 1979 at I shop for for a living.com or whatever the name of the business is.
Right.
And just get it done. You'll look so much more professional. So.
Right. Final question we have tonight. Who Did It 99 says, do they question you when you return so many items? And I think he's talking about when, I don't know if it was when you and Josh were talking on Friday or were we talking about some stuff last week, but with the Bieber dolls.
Yeah, he was replying to a question that I believe Jack, Resale Rookie, put on YouTube, where he was saying, I think Jack said he was going to go return some stuff. And, I mean, I have returned some stuff. I haven't lately. I can't remember last time.
No, not lately, no.
Actually, since I've been in Arizona, I think I've returned 3 things.
Arizona's been pretty good to us so far.
It has, but I mean, I posted those on my Facebook. It's that we're looking at right now, the macadamia pancake mix and some olive oil for your hair. Those are the only things I have returned. But I mean, I have in the past. I mean, if you go back to Spreecast and watch me and Josh, I mean, we did the shameful dance back to freaking Toys R Us and returned all those Justin Biebers.
Yes,
and
they do look at you funny.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, they let you return it. It's not that they don't. But
it's more in shock and awe, like, how did you get that many?
Yeah. They do look at you. They look at you funny when you buy that many, and they look at you funny if you return that many.
And you know what? I mean, that was the one thing that somebody mentioned to me the other day. They're like, man, this didn't work out, and I invested too much in it, and, I'm afraid to return them. I said,
don't.
Why are you afraid to return? It's your money. They're not going to spank you.
Go get your money back.
Get your money back. You've got the receipt, and you walk in the store, and they can. I mean, they're not going to arrest you.
No. You know what? I'll be perfectly honest with you. There were some times when Mike first went, you know, all balls to the wall here with reselling, and he got that bug in him, right? And he's like, oh my God, I found this product, and he went nuts. And he came home, he's like, Kim, I spent this amount of money, and look at all these things, and I'm going to sell them all in the next, you know, week. And then that week goes by, and we have some bills, you know, like that need to urgently be paid. And I'm like, okay, you know what? You sold some, but you're not selling these very fast. You've got to go return some because we need that cash.
Yeah, and if you're in that situation right now where you're gambling and you're going, wait a minute, do I need to pay the cable bill or can I go buy these hot items?
Yeah.
Here's my advice for you, okay? I understand what you're saying. I totally understand what you're saying.
Believe me, we have been there.
Okay. I mean, you know, there's different levels to different games. There's different levels for different lifestyles.
Right.
All right. If you have the opportunity and you have product in your hand, okay, and you have a bill that's getting ready to be due or something's going to shut off, hey, now the game's over. Return it.
Don't
sit there and say, whoa. You know, the game was going to hit here. I'm going to pay off. No.
That's like taking your last $20, going to the casino,
Yes.
hoping that you're going to hit $7,000 so that your car doesn't get repoed and your house doesn't get taken away. Don't do it.
That's like going and saying, hey, I got this electric bill that is due. It's $750. I've got $100. It's being shut off tomorrow. First, I'm going to go to the casino. No. Stop. Return it. Return the stuff you've got.
Right.
And if it's only $350 and your bill's $600, we're still return it.
Yeah,
you'll get that money.
You're closer, and now start looking for stuff around your house to see what can I put on Craigslist and pop out. I mean, you know, don't.
We've been down that road.
We have so been down that road, you guys, and I'm not even kidding you. Where I've been like, you have to go return it, Mike. We can't do it right now. You've got to go return it. We're not in that position.
When I had my shop in Chicago, I mean, I would sit there, and you know, there's always an issue when you're a business owner, right? You're short on something, and you got to dump something.
Yeah.
And it's the worst feeling in the world as a picker reseller to say, damn, now I got to dump this. But that's what you got to do to pay the bills. You can't have it all. You can't be this rock star and have everything great and life's great. Yeah, you know what? If you're making money, sure. But if you keep extending your credit, you keep extending your product, and you keep buying, you're going to come across a situation where, you know, something like that might just happen to you.
Yeah.
Or it's like the Phil Collins. You're in too deep. Genesis.
Yeah, don't overextend yourself. We've said it over and over. Please know your budget. Know what you can comfortably do.
Yeah, this is not like, you know, I got $1,000 in my bank and I'm going all in. Okay, but if you lose that $1,000 a month, where are you going to be?
Right.
If you're going to say, well, I'm screwed, well, then don't do it.
Or take
$100.
Decide that you're going to do it merchant fulfilled, so that if you know it doesn't come back to you in 2 weeks, you can go return the product.
Yeah.
But
I mean, guys, you got to take care of your personal business. You got to take care of your family. You got to take care of your bills, right? And this might be a hobby. This might be, you know, your business. But you got to respect your family and got to respect the lights in your house.
Right.
You know, the
basic needs,
the
food. I mean, you know.
Because you can get caught up really fast. You're going, well, you know what? The kids will just eat, you know, rice or roni or something.
Yeah, we'll eat ramen noodles for the next 3 weeks.
Except
that after 2 or 3 days, those ramen noodles don't taste so good anymore.
Yeah, who wants to eat ramen noodles all the time, right? And you got to sacrifice sometimes too. You know, I've just learned that, you know, don't ever think a good thing is going to keep continuing, because it'll change and you'll get knocked down.
And you got to change with it.
You got to find another product.
So yeah, who did it? Do they question you? Yeah, they do. But who the hell cares? You bought it. You've got the receipt. Return it.
Return it. Get your money and
no
move on.
No shame in your game.
Yeah, no shame. Just get the stuff. Get it onto another product or pay some bills. Do something with it. But yeah, definitely get out. All right, so that kind of sums us up with the questions we had here for today's show. I got some things I want to talk about really quick for you guys, and I know you guys are busy. Hopefully, you guys are paying attention to what I'm telling you about with this show, you know, specifically, where I want you to work while you're listening. Okay, it's very important because I mean we're pushing, you know, an hour of the show, and if you're just sitting there, you know, I understand if you're going to sleep and you're listening to it. I understand that whole game, but I'm making these podcasts, these radio shows for you to listen to while you're working, and hopefully it amps you up. Hopefully you can get a more grasp on things and learn something at the same time. But eBay, okay? Let's get into eBay. Guys, you have to list more. You have to list more of these items on eBay. That's how you become successful. eBay rewards you for listing more items, okay? The more you list, the more you sell. I keep saying this over and over and over, and it's so true. You know, you could sit there and spend 8 hours a day listing on eBay, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm done, and then boop, beep, the phone goes off or the message, and you're like, I sold something. And it was something you just put up. That should tell you something, that just keep listing, all right? That is the game. That's the grunt. That's the whole thing of eBay. It's not as easy as Amazon where you go, I'm just going to scan this and it's going in a box, right? But we all know that with eBay and some of these items we can find at thrift stores, they're very, very profitable, and we're going to keep continuing to buy them. But you have to focus your time. You have to focus and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, the stuff's piling up on me right now. eBay has never let me down, guys, okay? And it won't let you down if you keep working the system. And the way to work the system is list more, list more. I've been selling a ton on eBay through the wholesale networks. For January, it's great. It's, if somebody's saying right now, oh, January just sucks for me, you know what? You're just not listing enough, or you're in a niche where it's just not working for you, and you just have to keep listing. Okay, there's plenty of items to go out and sell on eBay, and if you're watching YouTube videos, or you're listening to me, there's plenty of information out there if you're new and you're like, what sells on eBay? Everything sells on eBay, people. All right, just list more. I want to focus this next part on saving. Okay, it's so easy to buy items and sell them and say, well, I sold that item for $80. Okay, and lately I've been watching some YouTube videos and I've been talking to people, and I really don't care how much you sell the item for. Honestly, that's great. Hey, yeah, but are you saving the money? Are you reinvesting the money? That's the most important thing. Okay. Because you have to reinvest, but yet you have to save. Yet you have to pay your bills, right? So save your money. If you're not doing this right now and you're not saving money, you're just going from item to item and selling and reinvesting and going, man, I just sold that for $100, but yet you got a bill coming up and it's like, well, how am I going to pay that? It's because you're not saving, right, Kim?
Yeah. I mean, you've got to think of it as any other job. Except that the employer is not taking out that money for the 401k for you. You need to take out your own money for the 401k. And, like I said, we've been there, done that, where sometimes even just a couple bucks is like, boy, we really could use that couple bucks. There's a gallon of milk right there.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and that's how eBay can be. And that's why I like the Amazon standards of where, it's 2 weeks to get paid. Right. And some people complain about that. Well, I wish I could get the money faster. I wish I can get the money faster.
We all do, sure.
But at the same time, it's kind of a self-discipline where it's saying, hey, yeah, we can give it to you faster, but it's better we just let you get paid twice a month.
Right. Okay. And it's just like an employer. You're going to get paid generally, twice a month, or, every 2 weeks you're going to get paid. Well, that's the nice thing about having the resources available to do Amazon, to do eBay, to do Craigslist, whatever, diversify. It's like we've said before, diversify. If you've got all of your eggs in the Amazon basket, it might be pretty tough. So, and it depends, but you need to have your money in different places, sell in different avenues so that you have that extra that you can put away. And even if you're only putting away $5 a week, start with that.
That's a start.
It's a start. If you're putting away $0 right now and you put away $5 a week for 52 weeks, all right?
That may not sound like a lot of money, and it's probably, but that's enough.
But at the end of the year, that's $2,600 you've got saved up.
No.
We'll get the calculator. $5 a week. $5 a week.
All right.
Times 52 weeks.
$5 a week times 52 is $260.
$260. Oh, I had a zero.
That's why with math you need to improve.
That's why I need a calculator.
No, but at the same time, it's one of those things where it's very important to save your money. Okay, I am telling you this as from experience, for somebody that's been doing this for over 10, 15 years, guys. I mean, I've been doing this, and trust me, I've dipped into my savings, and there's times I needed my savings, and that's what it's there for. It's there for emergency, and I can't stress this enough. When you're selling anything, and you're doing this part-time or full-time, put some of the money aside, right? I've talked about, if you go on YouTube, You'll hear me talk about my envelope fund,
Yep.
the picking fund. I mean, that stuff
I thought
works.
Mike was nuts with the envelopes.
And then
I
next
really
you
did.
know, what happens? 6 months down the road, we open up an envelope, and there's a couple grand in there.
Right.
Where'd that come from? Well, we saved it. That's what we did. We
And
worked
then
as
when
a
you
team.
hit those unexpected things, like, you know, what would you do right now if your car broke down?
Yeah.
What would you do if you know, 2 of your tires popped and you got to go spend $500 getting new tires?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that? Do you? Think to yourself, well, I don't have that readily available. I could rob Peter over here. I could not pay my cell phone bill. I could not pay my cable bill because I need to have those tires on my car. Well, if you do the savings, you know, then at least you've got it there.
Yeah, don't put yourself in that situation. Save the money now. There's a lot of young hustlers that are listening, and you know what? You're in your 20s. You know, you just got to save it. I'm telling you. And you might say, oh, you know, I'm just going to keep rolling dice. No. Just start saving. Just
If
save.
someone had told
even
us
if you're
then what
50,
we know now.
Oh, my God. If you're 50 now, save the money, right? Save it. Because you need something, okay? Or invest in something else. But, guys, you know, focus on the saving. Let's please do that for me. This next thing is invest in yourself. You have to invest in yourself. If you're doing this part-time or full-time, you cannot wake up in the morning and go, well, you know, I'm just going to go do this, or I'm going to have a coffee at Starbucks, and next you know, you're, oh, well, I'm going to go hang out with my buddy or my girlfriend. There's times and places for that. But if your business is failing or you're not making a lot of money, see, those are privileges, okay? All those are privileges. Look at your life right now and say to yourself, what are my privileges? Write them down, okay? And then write down your priorities. Mm-hmm. And you look at the P and P together on the same piece of paper, you'll realize, okay, wait a minute, maybe some of these privileges I have aren't, you know, I shouldn't be doing them because I have priorities, okay? And that's why I say invest in yourself, okay? Hey, if you got somebody around you that's negative, that's hating on you, that, you know, is bringing you down, I'm telling you, I've had that my whole life. I even get it making these videos, this show right now. Okay, I deal with it all the time. Phase it out. You know, once you phase out negativity, positivity comes. And when you start giving off positive rays to people, you know, people on eBay, by taking an extra step by saying, hey, you know what? Send them that message. Thanks so much for purchasing this. You know what? Your item shipped today. And guess what? They just bought it 10 minutes ago. People remember that, man.
Yep.
And that's, you know what? That goes a long way. Or even just end, when you send them a message, say this. And I'm telling you, this works. Have a great day. That have a great day means a lot because you don't know what that person's like on the other end.
Yep.
And they see that, and that's probably the only time they're going to see it all day long.
And it makes them smile.
Yeah.
It gives them that little, you know, just sometimes, oh, well, you know what? Thanks. At least this person cared today. Because I'm having a really crappy day, and my boss is on me, and, you know.
But I got to buy this backpack for my daughter.
Yeah,
and, you know,
my kids are asking for everything. So a little bit of kindness really does go a long way.
Goes a long way, you know. So do that if you're not doing that. When people are buying stuff from you on eBay, you know, just send that message. Hey, I shipped it out today. It's on its way to you. Thanks so much for your purchase. We appreciate it. I'm telling you, it goes a long way. But you have to invest in yourself. You have to believe that you can do this. And if you can believe in yourself and have faith and your self-esteem's, you know, as high as it can be, you're unstoppable. So, you know, that's a quick little motivation for you there. The, you know, PICK4PROFIT, you know, with this, where this is at right now, it's a website where, you know, you're going to learn about things you can buy and flip really fast for money. Okay, and I'm improving on this every day, guys. I'm putting information out there. I've got Kim. Here's a notebook. There's a notebook over there. I mean, it's filled, guys. It's filled with information, and this is what I keep saying. That, you know, there's a lot of information I have that is just not even out there. I mean, I think honestly, 95%.
Mike and I were talking about this earlier, and he said, "Kim, I'm exhausted. My God, I'm getting, you know, hundreds of messages, and I'm talking to people on the phone and coaching them, and I'm trying to, you know, I mean, we're still picking. We are live pickers right now. We're still picking. We're not one of these people that said, I've stopped. I don't pick anymore. You know, we're doing this along with you. We are giving you tips of exactly what we're picking and what we're profiting on right now." And I looked at him, I said, "There's just not enough of you to go around, babe." You know, and then family obligations and that kind of thing. So, and I tried not to get on him too much and say, geez, you couldn't even throw the dishes in the dishwasher today, and I try not to be the nagging wife. But we've got a ton of stuff here that I'm trying to motivate Mike a little bit. Not that he needs motivation, but just sort of give him that little kick in the butt to say, okay, here's your organization for today, babe. This is what, put the hammer down. This is what you've got to do to get some of these going.
She's been great with that because we've been talking, and I'm like, and I feel like, I'm 24/7, guys. Where I will put out information 24/7, and as things grow and things are changing, and I'm adapting it all, and I've got this notebook here, and I'm sitting there looking at this, and I'm like, and I told Kim, I said, I need for you to just tell me kind of where I need to be with this, and she put out this thing. This notebook, and she's like, here's where you start, okay, to organize me. And this is stuff that's going to start coming out pretty soon with the Pick for Profit. Very good stuff, honestly. And it's like anything, when you get too wrapped into things, things get busy. And thanks to all you guys, all the new members on Pick for Profit, I really appreciate it. I appreciate the support. I reach out to everybody, and that's my big thing. And maybe that's too much, right?
Yeah.
Maybe for $35 a month, maybe it's too good to be true that you could sit here and listen and talk, and you join, and then next thing you know, I'm talking to you for 3 hours on the phone, right?
Yeah.
And I love it.
That happens.
Oh my God.
It
right?
absolutely happens.
The other night I was up till freaking 2 in the morning talking to somebody, and I was just like, hey, tell me your story. And I listen, and I love it. I love hearing it. And then I say, hey, let's do this. And they go and they do it tomorrow. And then they're texting me and they're calling me and they're like, oh, my God, and they're messaging me. Oh, my God, you're right. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I'm going to tell you this right now. This whole website, this whole Pick for Profit will stop when the bottom drops. Okay?
Yeah.
The bottom is not dropped. And I don't see it's going to be dropping for a long time. People could say, oh, yeah, that market's dead. This market's dead. Hey, I found ways to make money. I know it. You can do it. I'm doing it, and that's kind of it. So if you want to message me or talk to us, the best thing to do is to actually go on the Facebook, leave a message there, and I wish I could answer everybody's questions. I really do. I wish I could answer them in a timely manner, and there was a time where I could do that.
Yeah, it's just at this point it's getting a little harder. That's where this radio show came out, and I just like to say, last week was the first one that we put out, and there was such a great response. So I personally want to thank you because there were a lot of good comments from people that said, no, Kim, you're not horrible. You can come back on here with Kim, come back on here with Mike. So Philip Cressy had said that it was a great first podcast. Homeboy Chris liked it. 80 Sodler, JJ Perks. So those are some of the people. Mel's Vermont Finds. So lots of so many.
Pick and Profits. He commented on there. Mel's Vermont Finds. God's Fave. Valerie Vest. Team Win Fan. M Hendrick. Beth Ann Aubrey. She seems like she's killing it. You took the time to post on there. I really appreciate that. Business Bandit. Overseas Hustler working it.
Mary Sarah,
yeah. We're Resale Rookie. Matt McNeil. This
Alleg 123 iffy.
Yeah, she says thanks so much for doing this. Hey, we're doing it for you guys out there, and like I said, it's not going to stop. Also, shout out to Bill Stoner there.
And there were tons of other ones. We'd be here for another hour and a half.
There's a ton of other people that were messaging and commenting about it. But thanks, guys, so much. This is the wrap up on the second episode. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Like I said, if you got comments or questions, leave them down below. And, we're going to keep doing this every week. We're going to pump it out. It'll be out either Tuesday or Wednesday morning on this PICK4PROFIT.com website. Hope to have you a part of the family there on Pick for Profit. If not, you know what? My Facebook. You can go on my Facebook. It's Morning Cup of Joe. Check me out. Also, check me out on YouTube. Got a lot of videos on there. And if you're new and you've only come across a couple of videos I've put on YouTube, there's a whole arsenal back there.
Oh, yeah. Keep going. Go back.
From what people tell me, they're like, man, I've rewatched that Morning Cup of Joe's. And that's right.
Lots, chock full of information.
Chock full of knowledge, I guess you could say. But, hey, guys, we're out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Kim, you got any last words?
Nope, that's it. Thanks so much again for listening, and hopefully we didn't bore you too much tonight.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for watching, or not watching. What am I saying?
Listening,
Kim.
I know.
Listening, Kim.
Well, you know what? We're so used to being on the air, on video.
Yeah, so this is kind of for us, and we're learning with you, but, and we're going to stick through this, and we're going to put out these podcasts, these radio shows. Let me know, how we did on this show here. Just throw me some feedback. I appreciate it. I look at it. I see it. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.